Welcome back to K&L Farms, and on a previous video you'll see me make a mistake. And I told you when I started the channel I would show you my successes as well as my failures. The other thing in that, let's go down the homestead a little bit. Yeah, I cut the cord in two with the skill saw, and I'm going to show you how to repair it. And I've got everything on site. And that's part of homesteading, is have material here so that you don't have to spend the kind of money that the inflation has cost, and two is you have a skill set to fix your own equipment. Skill sets, and early on I talked about skill sets in repairing the equipment, farming, gardening, animal husbandry, or growing chickens or your animals. So I'm going to shift the camera here in just a minute. I'm going to show you that skill saw, show you the damage I caused on the previous video, and try and make that repair. And thank you. Okay, so the first thing I did in the repair is I unplugged it, and immediately as soon as I made that cut, I knew that I had nicked the ground. It looks like I nicked the common, and I cut the power, the hot wire, clear in two on that, in that air. So just a minute, let me get that up there where you can see it a little bit. I'll move the utility knife because I don't need that anymore. And then I cut, after I unplugged it, I stripped the wires enough that I could actually see where the damage was. And got a roll of tape. I'm going to take the roll of tape and I'm going to tape up, because these aren't cut in two, but I don't want that ground wire being exposed. So I'm going to tape this together in just a minute. Okay. Okay, so now those two wires are insulated away from the power wire. Now I've already stripped back the black wire. I'm insulating the green wire and the white wire, and if I can make it so that the power wire doesn't get caught up in that, that should be good enough. Okay, so I got that. I'm going to kind of flare this without the insulator in there. Flare this a little bit, and flare this other end of this power wire a little bit without the insulator. Okay, that looks pretty good. And I'm going to put this cord. And what I'm attempting to do, attempting to get back to work on the column. Doing the column, but in order to do that I got to fix this skill saw, and that's part of being a homesteader, is you can fix your own stuff. You don't have to rely on somebody else. You don't have to run to town. Now that's a shrink wrap connector. I have a shrink wrap connector. Put it on there. Pair of pliers. And they're designed for this purpose, and then crimp that a little bit. Enough to hold it, and then take the other end. If you have enough lead, if you don't have enough lead, you got to cut back, which I might have to do, but I'm not sure of that yet. I'd rather not. Yep, I'm gonna have to cut that back a little bit. Utility knife, just a standard utility knife. Any box store shows them. See if I can cut that a little bit and get that stretched out a little bit. And then you're going to have to collapse this. You're going to shrink this cord a little bit in order for those two to fit together. Get it stuffed in there a little bit. like that. So that looks good. Take your crimps, put it inside there so that you're not crimping all that other wire. Kind of give it a little bit of a squeeze just to hold it together for a minute. Okay, so that probably would work. And give it a little tug and make sure that they're seated. Yeah, they're seated pretty good. Okay, so then I'm going to take this, and this is a torch. This is a torch that a lot of people use. I enjoy it. You press the button on a green bottle. Green bottle's cheaper. And okay, so secure your utility knife so you don't cause a bigger failure. Get the tape over here, and then we're going to heat that up, and that's going to shrink on there, and then we're going to tape it. But don't get your hand in the way when you do it. Make sure it goes out. Before you tape it up. And I would let it cool down a little bit, enough that you can touch it. I still can't touch it yet. Still molten. So let it go a little bit. Before you put tape on it, because you don't want to put fire in your barn. Let that go a little bit. Okay, then take your tape, and we're going to plug that in just a minute, and we're going to see if I'm right or if I'm wrong. And if I'm wrong, you're still going to see the video, because I told you successes as well as failures. Going to tape that up a little bit. All the way back. You want to get it all the way back to the previous cord, and then come back again, and then we'll plug this in and see if I kick the breaker out. When I cut the cord in two, I kicked the breaker almost immediately and ended the video because I didn't have any lighting left. And you want it to be pretty good, because there's times when you're packing this skill saw, you're up on a roof, and you lower it down from the roof with a cord. So you want this cord separating. And that should be pretty good. Okay. Remove the pliers that you use for the repairs and the torch. Find a plug-in, the end of the plug-in actually. Okay. Plug it in and see if this will run. If it doesn't run, then we've got an issue. I'll have to go redo it. Okay, so now we're back in business, and now it's working again.